Well, we have breaking news in the NFL with Joe Burrow, and unfortunately, it's not details on the new contract. The Bengals quarterback hobbled off the field and was carted back into the facility. Non-contact injury. This was at practice today, so very scary. Coach Zach Taylor said Burrow suffered a calf strain and gave no details on the severity of the injury. Bengals coach added that this likely takes Burrow out of preseason participation. So we just showed the video there. Not a whole lot to speculate on, but obviously really, really scary and unfortunate to watch. Any thoughts?
Get better fast, Joe.
Yeah.
How you saying stuff like
that? It is a different leg than the ACL tear in
okay. Why
2020.
do we have to bring that up? Come on.
Because
it sucks. We'll be all right as long as he can play. We gonna be all right. It does suck, and just talking about his contract, things of that nature, maybe this put things in perspective. But for Cincinnati, everybody is holding their breath.
Yeah, everyone's holding their breath.
Me too. I'm holding my breath for him,
Get well soon, Joe, and we will bring you any more updates that we have throughout the show. Staying in the division, the Ravens had a very busy offseason, adding offensive coordinator Todd Monken and offensive weapons for Lamar Jackson. The former MVP is clearly excited as the Ravens get going at training camp. Lamar said, quote, "The atmosphere feels different for Baltimore." Shady, do you expect the Ravens to be different this
Absolutely, in a good way. They're going to be a really, really good team. And, like, one thing Lamar Jackson has said, the whole city's waiting for this. Just think about this for a second. They've been competing all these years, right, having good records. I mean, he's the second best. He has the second best record, winning record, other than Patrick Mahomes. Yep. So he's a winner. He's been winning with that type of roster. Just basically good defense, solid running game, and Lamar Jackson. Now you bring in some help. You bring in some weapons. You bring in some speedsters. You bring in some route runners. You bring in some number one type receivers. You bring all these things. And now guys are healthy, so I truly believe that they'll have a really, really good year. I've watched the Ravens play with okay type of talent on offense, right? Mm-hmm. Now they got some real players. Woo. It's going to be scary in Baltimore.
I do expect it to look different, not just because of the players, but also it's a different offensive coordinator. And the purpose of changing around the offense was to lean into Lamar throwing more, which he can do. It's really just, to me, it looked like the offense was, here, Lamar, go win the game. Yep. You know, he's not really had the weapons that he's needed as a top player. And when you look at that, how that's looked over the years, it tracks that way. Even last season, they were 19th in scoring offense, 16th in total offense, 28th in passing offense, but second in rushing offense and have the second-ranked offensive line. So this is a very imbalanced offense for a team that has a player of the caliber of Lamar Jackson. The reason I also expect it to look different is because they want it to look different. Yep. They have made concerted efforts. Lamar has talked about wanting it to be different. They changed the offensive coordinator. They brought in new offensive pieces. So they want to lean into it looking different. How it actually turns out, we will get to see. But I do expect it to look different.
It will 100% look different. Lamar Jackson's first 5 years, they were a run-first offense. This is a passing league. So last year, they ran the ball 50% of the time, obviously. They threw it 50%. The league average is 57% last year. At times, it can go to 58, 59% run-to-pass ratio. So just from that perspective, they're going to look completely different because at least they're telling us we are going to throw the ball more. So if they get more in tune with the league average, I mean, Lamar and the Ravens will throw the ball 10 to 13 times more per game, which they hadn't done. So that right there will be different. The first 5 years, Lamar and the Ravens, they've experienced success, but not at the highest level. So they had to change because everybody, when you're the Ravens, you play for Super Bowls. What they were doing wasn't working at the level they were trying to get to. So they have no choice but to change. Now, whether this gets them to where they're going, they have to change because, like I just said, it wasn't working.
Right.
And so can Lamar be that guy? I'm going to say yes because with Lamar, they averaged 25 points a game last season. Without him, 13. That's a huge... Lamar was 2-0 against the AFC North last year in division games. Without him, they went 1-3. And so Lamar Jackson, if he can really throw the ball the way they want him to throw it, I expect the Ravens to be better, but we just don't know because why, when the league average is 58%, they're throwing the ball 50% of the time?
Because that's what John Harbaugh does. That's what John Harbaugh has always done, which is why I'm not convinced, for all that they've added, that it is going to be appreciably different. He's been there 15 seasons now, right? their scoring defense was in the top 10 11 times. Can we see the comparison? Rushing yardage, they've been in the top 10 9 times. Passing yardage, they've only been there once in 15 years. So I understand that they've got all these new weapons, and I understand that they probably realize, you know what, the game has kind of changed. But has John Harbaugh changed? And if they happen to struggle a little bit, what is he going to go to? He's going to go to his tried and true, because this is the one thing about the Ravens is in that division in the AFC North, they've gone to the playoffs more than any other team, 10 times under John Harbaugh. So we can say they play for Super Bowls. We can say that it hasn't worked of late, but the tried and true is they've been pretty damn successful doing it the way John Harbaugh has done it over the course of these years. So I hear you, and I'm not going to...
success, though, Rick? Success for the Ravens is winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
And that's why they're changing.
Understand that. And you guys know this. Like, coaches, when things don't go right and they're trying something new...
Do what you do.
What do? They go back to what they know. That's what they trust. So maybe John Harbaugh is going to change, and Todd Monken's going to be given a lot of rope, and Lamar's going to be given a lot of rope. If I close my eyes and I think about the Baltimore Ravens, that's not how I think about it.
Yeah, but they had a culture of playing great defense and running the ball, right? But it's times have changed, and they changed the coordinators. A lot of coordinators they had was more just we're going to run, and let the defense win the games. But now it's changed. Now how you win games is different. And I think that once you change the coordinators, we're going to see what Lamar Jackson is. Another thing I want to say is the Ravens had, in that 15 years, they haven't had a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. We're going to talk about Joe Flacco. He was okay, right? He won a Super Bowl, respect to that, but come on, right? He was all right. He's okay. He's not Lamar Jackson. Way different. So now they have a guy like Lamar Jackson. Yeah, we're going to see him throw the ball, and we're going to see him run the ball. We're going to see him win games because that's what he does. Got to put a little more respect on Lamar Jackson.
No, you know what? I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to take this as disrespect towards Lamar Jackson. It's not disrespect towards Lamar Jackson. It's looking at who John Harbaugh has traditionally been.
I hear you on that, but the patience starts to run out when you're in a division with Mike Tomlin and you've got Joe Burrow and here comes the Browns.
You got to score.
All of those offenses are scoring points, and you're defaulting to what you're comfortable with. Being comfortable will get you out of a situation real quick before you even notice it.
I get that. TJ, are you convinced that Lamar Jackson is going to take advantage of all these weapons?
I don't know. And the reason I say I don't know is because when you're in a position...
Wait. What did you say?
No, I don't know.
We didn't have the wide
But this is the thing.
I'm ready, though, yes. He's ready.
When you throw the ball as few as they did since he's been a quarterback, I mean, at times, 2020, they ran the ball 56% of the time. 56% of... When you're doing that, it's almost as if they don't believe in him.
Yeah.
But this year 6. If you can't do it now, you can never do it. I'm going to say Lamar going to be able to throw the ball. I know the type of work Lamar is putting in. I know the guys that he's working with as far as his mechanics and throwing the ball. And so I know they do a good job. I'm going to say he's going to get it done.
But do y'all know who the number one receiver last year for that team was, especially in the playoffs? DeMarcus Robinson, right? I played with him in the Kansas City Chiefs. Solid player. I want to have him as my number one receiver. That's what they had. So when you ask these questions, can he throw? Can he do this? Can he do that? To who? Now we got some weapons, right? Now I can throw a 5 or 6 yard route and a dude can take it for 25 yards, right? Like all these other talented quarterbacks have.
Yeah.
Like little Jamar Chase is 6 yards, he going 60. Right? We can talk about
the only way to take advantage of a...
You got to throw it, though. They weren't throwing it.
Right. But the only way to take advantage of a dual-threat quarterback is to have the fear that he can throw it if you lean into only protecting the run. So that's what keeps defenses honest. So they're going to have to lean into it, but we will see. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.